Imagine for a moment that everything you believe about your life, your struggles, your limits, your fears, is about to be completely rewritten. What if I told you that there are just 3 simple rules, 3 unshakable truths that change my life forever, and if you let them in, they can change yours too? Which is right now, many of you are carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry. You're trapped by stories you tell yourself, by invisible chains of doubt and pain. But here's the truth. Those chains are illusions. And the moment you break free from them, your world explodes with new possibility. I'm not here to give you temporary motivation. I'm here to shake your foundation, to challenge the way you think, feel, and decide. Because these 3 rules aren't just ideas. They are the keys that unlock my freedom, my power, and my destiny. So I ask you, are you ready to listen, to open your mind, your heart, and your life to something that could transform everything? Because this is not just another speech. This is an invitation to change the course of your life forever. You see, most of us spend our entire lives trying to avoid pain. We hustle to numb it, distract ourselves from it, or push it so far down inside that we don't even recognize it anymore. But pain, real, raw pain, is not your enemy. It's a signal. It's life's way of telling you that something's out of alignment, that you're off course, or that you're holding on to something that no longer serves you. Think about this. Every breakthrough, every moment of growth, every incredible success is born from pain. Pain is the fertilizer for growth. Without it, the seed of transformation can't take root. When you run from pain, you run from your own evolution. You trap yourself in a cycle where fear and discomfort keep you small and stuck. But when you lean in and listen deeply to that pain, it reveals exactly what needs to change. It's not about suffering or being a victim to your circumstances. It's about decoding the message pain carries and using it as your guide. When you start to see pain not as a punishment, but as a compass, everything shifts. Instead of resisting, you start asking powerful questions. What is this pain trying to teach me? Where am I stuck? What story am I telling myself that's holding me back? The answers will surprise you. They're the key to unlocking doors you didn't even know were there. Most people want a quick fix, a magic bullet that makes the pain disappear instantly. But true transformation doesn't come from avoidance or distraction. It comes from courage. The courage to feel the discomfort fully, to face your fears head on, and to move through the fire instead of around it. Because on the other side of that fire is freedom. It's where you reclaim your power, your identity, and your life. I want you to imagine that every time you feel pain, you treat it like a teacher instead of a threat. What would that do to the way you live? How would your decisions change if pain became your guide, not your jailer? The power lies in that shift. When you honor the pain, you stop giving it control. You start controlling your story instead of your story controlling you. This is why so many people never break through. They confuse pain with failure, they allow it to define them, and they let it stop them from becoming who they're meant to be. But the truth is, pain is just the signal that you're ready for something greater. It's the invitation to rewrite your story, to reset your course, and to rise. So the next time pain shows up, and it will, don't shut it out. Lean into it, listen to it, learn from it. Because your greatest breakthrough is hiding behind your deepest pain. There's something incredibly powerful about the standards you set for yourself. It's easy to overlook how deeply these invisible rules shape every moment of your life. Your standards are the foundation on which everything else is built. Your habits, your mindset, your relationships, your results. And here's the truth that most people don't realize. If you want a different life, you have to raise your standards, not just once, but consistently, relentlessly. Too often, people settle for less because they believe that's all they deserve. They convince themselves that this is as good as it gets, or that changing means too much work or risk. But your standards aren't something fixed or limited. They are entirely within your control. They are your declaration about what you accept and what you refuse to tolerate. And when you raise them, everything changes. Imagine this for a moment. What if you refuse to accept excuses? What if you stop negotiating with procrastination, fear, or self-doubt? What if you decided right now that you deserve better? Better habits, better relationships, better health, better financial freedom. How would your life look then? Raising your standards doesn't mean perfection. It means commitment. It means showing up for yourself day after day, even when it's uncomfortable. Because your standards are like a thermostat. They determine the temperature of your life. If your thermostat is set low, you're going to feel cold, stuck, and limited. But if you crank it up, you create an environment where growth, success, and happiness become inevitable. Here's the catch, though. Raising your standards requires action. It's not just about saying, I want more. It's about aligning your daily decisions with the new standards you've set. It's about the small choices, choosing to push through discomfort, to say no to what drains you, and to say yes to what fuels your vision. The moment your standards become non-negotiable, your identity shifts. You no longer see yourself as someone who falls short, but as someone who rises to meet the challenge. I've seen people completely transform when they realize this. They go from waiting for permission, from hoping for a break, to owning their power. They start demanding more from themselves, and suddenly the world responds in kind. Opportunities show up, relationships deepen, and even setbacks become lessons instead of roadblocks. So ask yourself, what standards have you accepted that don't serve you? What rules are you living by that keep you stuck? Because the only way to break free is to rewrite those rules, raise your expectations, and commit to living on a higher level. This is how you build a life you don't need a vacation from. And remember, if you want lasting change, stop negotiating with your excuses. There's a simple truth that most people avoid facing. If you don't let go, you will be dragged. The weight of resentment, fear, regret, and guilt isn't just heavy, it's paralyzing. And yet we cling to these burdens like they're part of who we are. We convince ourselves that holding on somehow protects us or keeps us safe, but the reality is the opposite. The moment you hold on to what's gone, to what hurt you, or to what you wish had been different, you lose your power, you give away your freedom. Letting go is not about forgetting or pretending the pain never happened. It's about choosing to release the grip those past experiences have on your present and your future. It's about creating space for new possibilities, new growth, and new joy. When you cling to the past, you chain yourself to it. You carry the weight everywhere you go, and it drags you down every step of the way. Think about how much energy you spend replaying old stories in your mind, stories of betrayal, failure, disappointment. What if instead of replaying those scenes, you chose to rewrite the ending? What if you gave yourself permission to step out of the prison you built from past hurts? The truth is, holding on is easy because it's familiar. It's the pain, the story you've told yourself for years. But growth happens when you dare to step into the unknown, when you release the old and make space for the new. This takes courage because letting go means facing uncertainty. It means risking discomfort, but it also means reclaiming your life. When you let go, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your focus. You stop wasting resources on things that don't serve you. You start living intentionally, guided by your vision rather than your wounds. And that's when real transformation begins. I want you to imagine your life as a journey. You're carrying a backpack filled with stones, each one representing fear, resentment, guilt, or regret. Every step feels heavier because of that weight. But what if right now you dropped that backpack? What if you decided to carry only what serves your future and leaves the rest behind? The hardest part isn't letting go. It's the decision to do it. It's the willingness to say, I'm done being held hostage by my past. Because once you make that decision, you open the door to a new kind of freedom, a freedom that lets you rise, that lets you grow, and that lets you become the person you were meant to be. So don't fool yourself thinking you can carry that weight and move forward at the same time. You can't climb while clinging to the past. One of the most liberating truths I've learned is that it's not your conditions that determine your life, it's your decisions. So many people live waiting for the right circumstances, the perfect moment, or the ideal set of conditions before they take control. But here's the hard truth. Perfect conditions rarely come. Waiting for them is just another way to delay your destiny. You could be facing challenges right now, health issues, financial struggles, broken relationships, or overwhelming fear, and that's okay. It's not about denying your reality. It's about understanding that the power to change your life doesn't come from changing the outside first. It comes from the decisions you make right now in spite of what's happening around you. Every great transformation begins with a decision. Not a wish, not a hope, but a decision, a firm, committed choice that says, I am going to take control. When you make that kind of decision, you create momentum. You start aligning your actions, your mindset, and your energy toward a new outcome. Think about the moments in your life when you made a decision that changed everything. Maybe it was deciding to start a new career, to walk away from a toxic relationship, or to forgive someone who hurt you deeply. Those moments were powerful because you didn't wait for permission or perfect timing. You chose to act despite fear, doubt, or uncertainty. What's important to realize is that decisions are not just one-time events. They are ongoing. Every day, you are faced with countless decisions, small and large. How you respond in these moments shapes your reality. Will you choose comfort over growth? Will you let fear dictate your next move? Or will you decide to step forward with clarity and purpose? When you understand this, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your life. Because conditions are external and often outside your control, but your decisions are internal. They are yours and yours alone. I want you to think about this now. What decision can you make today that will move you closer to the life you want? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. Even small decisions, when made with intention, create ripple effects that can lead to massive change. And here's something else. Once you make a decision, commit to it fully. Half-hearted decisions won't bring results. But a decision made with absolute clarity and conviction can rewrite your future. No one can decide for you, and no one can live your life for you. The conditions you face might be tough, but your decisions have the power to break through any barrier. Remember this. It's not your circumstances, it's your choices that create change. Emotions are powerful. They flood through us, color our experiences, and often feel uncontrollable. But here's a truth that few understand. Emotions are tools, not truths. They're signals designed to give you information, not to dictate your life. Most people get trapped because they think their feelings are facts, and that keeps them stuck in cycles of reaction rather than creation. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by anger, sadness, or fear. How often did those emotions drive your decisions? How often did you let them lead you into a place where you acted out of desperation, regret, or doubt? It's natural to feel deeply, but what separates those who move forward from those who stay stuck is the ability to master emotions instead of being mastered by them. Feel your emotions fully. Don't suppress them or pretend they don't exist. The energy behind your feelings contains important information about what matters most to you. When you learn to listen to your emotions without judgment, you gain clarity about your desires and your boundaries. You learn what you need to protect and what you need to change. But feeling emotions isn't the same as letting them run the show. It's easy to get swept away in the heat of the moment and make choices that don't serve your highest good. That's why mastering your emotions means taking control of the narrative inside your mind. It means recognizing when you're reacting from a place of fear or limitation and choosing to respond from a place of power and possibility. This takes practice and awareness. It means pausing long enough to ask yourself, what is this emotion telling me? Is it based on a past story, or is it grounded in the present reality? How can I use this feeling to fuel my growth instead of my downfall? When you start to see emotions as tools to be wielded, not chains to be dragged, your entire relationship with yourself changes. Imagine being able to feel anger without letting it consume you, to experience sadness without losing hope, to face fear without freezing. When you master your emotions, you become the captain of your ship, steering through storms instead of being tossed by them. You learn to use emotional energy as fuel to take bold action rather than as a reason to stay stuck. And here's what happens when you do. Your decisions become clearer, your actions more aligned, and your life moves forward with unstoppable momentum. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your destiny. So the next time strong emotions hit, remember, they are your allies, not your enemies. Use them wisely, and they will propel you to a new level of strength and clarity. Master your emotions, or they will master your mission. Another of the most powerful realizations you can have is this: progress equals happiness. It's not about being perfect or having everything figured out or reaching some mythical destination where everything is just right. True fulfillment comes from the movement, the momentum you build every day as you move forward, no matter how small the step. Far too many people wait for the perfect moment to start, for the right conditions to feel confident, or for that elusive success to show up. But here's the truth. Progress doesn't wait for permission. It happens when you keep moving, even if it's just an inch at a time. Think about when you felt truly alive. Was it when you were stuck in one place waiting for life to happen? Or was it when you were pushing your limits, growing, learning, and evolving? That feeling of growth, that forward motion is what fuels your energy and lights up your spirit. It's where happiness lives. When you focus on progress, you release the pressure of perfection. You give yourself permission to stumble, to learn, and to rise again. You celebrate the small wins because you understand they are the building blocks of bigger victories. Every step forward, no matter how tiny, is a victory against the status quo. Momentum is a force that compounds. One positive choice leads to another, and suddenly what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. It's not magic, it's consistency, it's commitment. It's showing up day after day with a mindset that says, I'm moving forward no matter what. But here's something many people miss. Progress is not just about external achievements. It's about your inner growth, your mindset shifts, and your emotional resilience. When you're growing on the inside, your outer world will start to reflect that growth. Imagine how your life would change if you focus less on where you are and more on where you're going. What if your happiness wasn't tied to a specific outcome, but to the simple fact that you're improving, evolving, and becoming more of who you were meant to be? This mindset frees you from the trap of comparison and dissatisfaction. It helps you focus on your journey instead of obsessing over the destination, because when you're growing, you're glowing, and that glow attracts new opportunities, new people, and new possibilities. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Start now. Move forward. Celebrate your progress, because every step you take is a step toward a better, fuller life. When you're growing, you're glowing.